Hello, this is Lacquerography, and I'm excited to talk to you today about Lacquer Drop. Lacquer Drop is a new Canadian indie polish collab that's offered through Nail Stuff on their website, nailstuff.ca. Lacquer Drop is available from June the 1st through June the 7th, and it's a pre-order shopping opportunity. And the theme this month is Canadian Summer. There are 7 incredible Canadian brands participating this month, so let's jump right in and take a look at the 7 gorgeous items on offer. The first polish up is by Awesome Nail Polish, and this one is called Sea to Sky. This pre-order polish is capped for this collab offering at only 30 bottles being made available. Sea to Sky is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Awesome Nail Polish. This is a blue-based polish with gold-green shimmer and green-blue-purple magnetic flakes. The flakes are a bit heavy when magnetized, so a strong magnet is recommended. A little bit about the inspiration here is that Sea to Sky is inspired by the beautiful region in British Columbia. The picture came from a trip on the Sea to Sky gondola. As a lover of all things green, I fell in love with this polish right away. This is the type of color that I could easily see myself wearing all throughout the year, any season. In the summertime, this one just looks like such a lush, rich green with all kinds of sparkle happening throughout it. I love this type of depth of color in the fall. That metallic aspect as well is an interesting draw for me at that time of year. The same thing within the winter time. That little bit of sparkle makes it look quite special, and greens do tend to be a color that I'm drawn to quite often in the winter because evergreens are prevalent in my area. And also in the springtime, I'm drawn to greens of all shades as my world turns from icy and cold to lush and green as the season progresses. I'm really loving everything about this polish. The green shade looks quite shifty depending on the magnetic effect, depending on the lighting. It looks like it has a lovely shine with the shimmer and with the flakies. I find that there's a lot of complexity with this polish, yet there's something light and ethereal about it all the same. I'm also loving how this polish appears to flatter every skin tone. There are a plethora of swatchers photos here on the nailstuff.ca website, and I really am drawn in by every single photo. Seeing this polish and hearing about the inspiration does draw me way back when I was much younger. My family went skiing out in British Columbia at Whistler, and I remember being absolutely blown away by just the incredible natural beauty. It really is unlike anything you'll find anywhere else throughout Canada. I'd love to venture out on this Sea to Sky gondola. It sounds like a trip of a lifetime. And hopefully now that I'm focusing a little bit more on travel in Canada and having just great Canadian experiences in general, hopefully an adventure like this one won't be too far off in my future. This beautiful shifting magnetic flaky green is by Awesome Nail Polish, Sea to Sky. The next polish up is by Bedford and Grove, and this one is called Nice Sunset, eh? This is another pre-order polish that has an availability cap. There are 100 bottles of this polish that are being available. Nice Sunset A is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Bedford and Grove. This is a purple when cold, blue, pink thermal, packed with purple and red shimmer along with pastel rainbow flakies. And a little bit about the inspiration from the maker. The Canadian summer theme brought to mind beautiful Lake Simcoe sunsets. First off, I couldn't be more excited to see Bedford and Grove back in action. This is a brand that when I became acquainted with them, I purchased several items directly from their website. I also was able to purchase a couple of their polishes when they were with Polish Pickup a few years back, and I've loved everything that they released. And Bedford and Grove went on a bit of a hiatus, and I am so glad that for this incredible event, Lacquer Drop, Bedford and Grove is back in action. I hope that it doesn't stop here with just this launch because I love this brand. I really hope that this might be the beginning of a wonderful future again for Bedford and Grove. All that aside though, let's take a deeper look at this polish. This is such a pretty and ethereal polish. I love the fact that this one is a thermal. I'm loving all aspects of this shift. This pink to sort of bluish to purple look is so complimentary. Like it just work so beautifully together. And the ethereal, fairy-like quality of these flakies within it evoke such a magical quality, much like the sunset does in areas like Lake Simcoe. I love how this polish has such variety with the thermal effect, but also in different types of lighting when you seem to see these flakies come out and dance. They're subtle, but yet rather prominent when the sunlight hits them. I find that this polish has such a magical look to it, and I would be thrilled to add this polish to my collection. And I also hope that I can add many, many, many more polishes by Bedford & Grove to my collection as well. This magical, shimmery, thermal flaky polish is by Bedford & Grove. Nice sunset, eh? This next polish up is by Cleona Cosmetics, and this one is called Driftwood Skies. There is also an availability cap with this polish at 190 bottles of this polish being made available. Driftwood Skies is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Cleona Cosmetics. This polish has a sheer mauve pink base with cyan shimmer, holographic flakes, and green reflective glitter. And a little bit about the inspiration from the makers. We embrace the theme of Canadian summer and were inspired by the gorgeous cotton candy skies seen over Driftwood Provincial Park. Reflective glitter is still such a favorite nail polish component of mine. I just love the way it sparkles in any lighting condition. And I can just tell that this polish will be utter magic on the nails. This one appears to have such a gorgeous, cool shift running through it, that shimmery shift, and that undeniable sparkle that's happening with the reflective glitter would just add so much to this already gorgeous polish. I love how it has quite a lightness to it as well. I find myself wondering as I look through some of the swatch photos about the coverage for this one. I have no problem at all with a little bit of visible nail line showing through, and I kind of wonder if that might be the case with this polish. It does have that lightness, allowing the shimmer and the reflective glitter to play a really prominent part, and I kind of wonder how much of it is that bringing the coverage as opposed to the base itself bringing the coverage. No matter what is happening here though, whether it's in 2 or 3 coats, whether or not there's any visible nail line showing through, I just think that this polish is sparkly and gorgeous. This polish is yet another one that's looking absolutely stupendous on everybody that has contributed swatch photos. I really just love the magic of this one. This sparkly fairy-like polish is by Cleona Cosmetics, Driftwood Skies. This next polish up is by Grackle Lacquer, Mossy Steps. This polish has a very small availability cap with only 15 bottles of this polish being made available. Mossy Steps is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Grackle Lacquer. This stunning shade is a glittery moss green, inspired by hiking trails under tall canopies where sunlight peeks through between the trees. Grackle Lacquer is a new to me brand. I at this point know nothing about Grackle Lacquer, but I believe that I caught sight on social media that they are actually a new indie brand that perhaps just released this year in 2025. Something that I love so much about all these collaboration websites that are on offer is the fact that so many times there are new to me brands that I love finding out the backstory for, and this one is very much one of those. I look forward to checking out Grackle Lacquer. I love the look of this polish. Again, another green. For me, that's an easy pick. I love green polishes, and I'm loving that sparkle that I'm seeing in the bottle shot. The tone of green, I think, is bang on sort of a moss green color. I could see myself being drawn to this one, probably especially in the summer and in the fall. This polish does evoke for me that idea of hiking. I'm far from what you would consider an avid hiker or anything like that. It does bring to mind nature walks, also the plethora of provincial and national parks that we have in Canada. I'm so drawn to this color. I wish this brand all success, and I very much look forward to taking a deep dive into their website to find out a little bit more about them and their mission and their products. I am really pleased to see this gorgeous green offered by new to me brand Grackle Lacquer. This polish is by Grackle Lacquer, Mossy Steps. This polish is by Paint It Pretty Polish, Sunsets at Killbear. For the first time, we're seeing a polish with no availability cap. So what that means is that this maker can produce as many polishes as are needed to fulfill all orders for this collaboration opportunity. Sunsets at Killbear is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Paint It Pretty Polish. This stunning shade is a purple-based polish with a ton of sparkling shimmer. And a note from the maker, I am so excited to share my inspo is this beautiful sunsets picture from our family's favorite campground, Killbear Provincial Park. This polish for me is quintessential Paint It Pretty polish. It's everything I love about this brand. Paint It Pretty Polish produces polishes in any kind of formula, any kind of colorway, and they always do it expertly. But there's something in particular about Paint It Pretty Polish shimmer polishes that gets my heart every time. And this to me, if somebody asks me about Paint It Pretty Polish as a brand, what types of polishes do they do really well? A polish like this one is what inevitably comes to mind. I find it a rather signature finish for them, at least to my mind anyway. I'm loving the warmth of the shifts to this polish. This is the second maker that has explicitly been inspired by sunsets, and I find both sunset polishes so far, this one by Paint It Pretty Polish and also the previous one by Bedford and Grove, to be such uniquely different takes on what, in this case, Ontarian sunsets can be like. Both brands are from my home province of Ontario, Canada, and both makers have been inspired by different areas within our province. Although it's a shimmer polish, it has such a sparkle to it, and I find that that's very often something that Paint It Pretty Polish does so well. There's often something about the quality of the shimmer pigment that they use that creates that light sparkle while the polish is shifting. This is another one that seems to have wonderful color play as the light hits it in different ways. This polish really truly looks to me like a sunset in a bottle. And I absolutely adore it when I get to see the inspiration photo from the makers. I think that the execution here is spot on. This beautiful shimmer polish is by Paint It Pretty Polish, Sunsets at Killbear. This next polish up is by Prairie Crocus Polish, and this one is called Canadian Shield. This is another offering with a very small availability cap. There are only 50 bottles of this polish being made available. Canadian Shield is the Canadian Summer Lacquer Drop shade by Prairie Crocus Polish. This shade is a beautiful teal metallic with blue shift. The maker was inspired by northern Manitoba's greenery on the Canadian Shield. Strong and solid, quiet and calm. Prairie Crocus Polish is not a new to me brand. I have been following them for a little over a year, but I do not own any of their polishes as of yet, so this one will be my first. I'm absolutely in love here with that shift that's happening. It is a rather metallic teal. I think it's a beautiful look and so summery. I mean, for people not familiar with the Canadian Shield, I think that it also evokes kind of a Caribbean Sea type color. The Canadian Shield, though, is such a beautiful aspect of our country. It is the largest aspect of our country as well. It is the largest landform region within Canada, and it spans across many provinces and territories. It takes up a great swath of our country. It has such a rugged beauty, a lot of rockiness to it, lots of beautiful lakes, also lots of rich, lush forests. And I think that the polish really picks up that inspiration beautifully. There aren't quite as many swatch photos for this one. I do know that Prairie Crocus Polish is a smaller brand based out of Manitoba, Canada, and there aren't quite as many swatch photos for this one as there are for some of the other offerings. But I can tell from the swatch photos that I'll love this color. And I can't wait to try out my very first bottle of polish from Prairie Crocus Polish from Manitoba, Canada. This brilliant shimmer metallic polish is by Prairie Crocus Polish, Canadian Shield. The seventh and final polish on offer through Lacquer Drop is by Unity Color Creations, and this one is called Summer Berry. This polish has a very small availability cap as well, with only 20 bottles being made available. Summer Berry is the Canadian summer-inspired lacquer drop shade by Unity Color Creations. This juicy berry red polish has a subtle green shimmer. And from the maker, a perfect representation of Ontario fresh strawberries, if I do say so myself. And I really love how we're very shortly going to be heading into strawberry season here in Ontario. And I do agree, this is such a perfect strawberry pink shade. Unity Color Creations is a brand that I've been aware of for a few months, but it's another brand that I haven't yet tried out. This will be my first polish from Unity Color Creations. And I couldn't be more excited that it's a strawberry-inspired polish. I'm really loving the quality of this shimmer as it's running through the polish. I also love, it looks like it's got a bit of a twinkle to it, maybe a slightly larger particle shimmer. There seems to be a bit of a twinkle. It's not glitter, it's all shimmer, but it has that gorgeous effect. I always do love that idea of a contrasting shimmer through a base. This one has a bit of a cooler leaning shimmer against that warmer base, although it is quite a cool pink berry color as well, which I think is a really flattering color. I really can't think of too many polishes that I own that come in this type of a pink. I think it has such a freshness to it, so perfect for spring and summer, strawberry season here in my area in Ontario. But it's the type of color that I could see myself wearing anytime. It would be very versatile, and with this shimmer, it just brings something a little bit extra. I can't wait to get my hands on this polish and give Unity Color Creations a try for the very first time. This beautiful berry shimmer polish is by Unity Color Creations, Summer Berry. Although that's it for the 7 individual offerings for Lacquer Drop, I am so excited to say that there is a bundle offering. If you're intrigued by all 7 offerings, there is a 7-bottle bundle where you can get one of each polish for a grand total of $163, and that's Canadian. And that gives you a savings of a little more than about $5 off. So for me, I think this bundle is my answer. I've actually already gone ahead and purchased it just ahead of filming this video. It seems like typically with a lot of collaboration offerings, it makes it a little bit difficult having to purchase each item individually, sometimes with no opportunity to have an incentive for bulk purchasing. To me, it's such a special opportunity in Lacquer Drop's inaugural event to be able to purchase all 7 polishes at a little bit of a price cut. I hope that this ends up being an option as Lacquer Drop continues season after season. So that's it for the 7 different polishes plus the 1 bundle offering. A little bit more about Lacquer Drop. It says here that Lacquer Drop is a seasonal Canadian indie polish collab. Each participating brand has created a gorgeous nail polish that is their take on the fun and beautiful Canadian summer. Products will be available for pre-order starting at noon Eastern Time on June 1st until noon Eastern Time on June 7th. And it does say that pre-orders are expected to ship by the end of June. All Lacquer Drop shades are limited edition and will not be available after the pre-order window closes. There is also a Lacquer Drop Lounge Facebook group that's available for sneak peeks, and it's an opportunity to chat with other polish fans all about Lacquer Drop. And I was really excited to see that a lot of the makers were present in the Facebook group as well. So if you are on Facebook, you may want to drop in and give the Lacquer Drop Lounge a follow and join in some of the fun that way. Prices for Lacquer Drop are listed in Canadian dollars, and each polish can be purchased individually. And there is also this time the incredible bundle offering, allowing you to buy all 7 at a bit of a price cut. So I'm wondering, are you planning on shopping Canada's Lacquer Drop this month? If you are, which polishes are catching your eye? I'm very excited to say that with this inaugural offering of Lacquer Drop, I was able to secure one of the bundle offerings, so all 7 polishes are in fact headed my way. Hopefully later on, I'll have a swatch and review video of all 7 polishes. Unfortunately, being limited edition, they will no longer be available at that point when I get my package. But I think it would be really interesting to take a look at all 7 polishes. And for me, it's also 3 brands that I've never tried before: Prairie Crocus, Grackle, and Unity Color Creations. So I can't wait to give those 3 brands a first try. So I am pretty curious, which of the polishes are catching your eye this month? Leave all your thoughts in the comments and we can continue on the conversation long after. If you enjoy Canadian nail polish features like this, please consider giving this video a like. As a Canadian YouTube creator, it always has been one of my goals to feature Canadian content as much as I possibly can. And by giving this video a like, it indicates to me that you're interested in this type of content. Moving forward, I am interested in creating as much Canadian content as possible, and I'd love your feedback about additional Canadian content that you'd be interested in seeing. New and fresh ideas, as well as constructive feedback, are always welcome. As well, if you're interested in polish-related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail polish content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.